if the chilies are this big, like that's a lot of promise. Like it should be a lot more spicy than it actually is. Does this even go with the theme, everything in Texas is bigger? Maybe, but it's not hotter, and that's sad. Hey y'all, I'm Melissa Guerra. I am the kitchen wrangler and one of the quintessential border foods here in South Texas is Huevos Rancheros. Now, Huevos Rancheros, it means ranch style eggs, and it's just an old country dish that we enjoy for breakfast and sometimes for a light supper. But it seems to be the one dish that people around the globe know. So it's my pleasure to share it with you. It's super easy. So let's get started on our Huevos Rancheros. The key to making Huevos Rancheros is to have a good sauce. And if you're like me, I am not worth $2 in the morning. I cannot cook I'm a good cook. Forget it. If I haven't had my coffee, I'm not a very good cook. So if you're like me, what I would tell you, my advice, is to make your sauce the day ahead of time. There's multiple reasons why, but it actually tastes better. I like to make a roasted tomato salsa for my Huevos Rancheros, which is pretty easy. When you go to the supermarket, there are all types of green chiles, and you're gonna see, I think it's confusing. Every time I go, there's a new variety. I never know which one to pick out. But if you can, look for the small chile serrano. Those are very spicy. Now, what I found at the supermarket were these incredibly huge jalapenos. Now, these have been grown to make jalapeno poppers, so they're very, very mild. That might be what you like in a salsa. You might like a very mild salsa, or you may like a really, really spicy one. Generally speaking, the smaller the chile, the spicier it is. So things like this, bell peppers, they're really big, they don't have a lot of spice, they're very, very watery. But like I said, this was all I could find at the supermarket, so this is what I'm gonna use. Add a little bit of vegetable oil to your griddle. I have a cast iron griddle, but you can use a Teflon griddle or a skillet. Whatever you have, that's what you can use. Once you add the vegetable oil, add your chopped vegetables. They don't have to be too chopped. I usually just slice them in half. Let them grill and roast until they get a beautiful brown color. That's gonna give your salsa a really good flavor. Remove them from the griddle. Oh, I forgot to roast a garlic, but actually, garlic roasts very, very quickly. So we're just gonna put our little peeled clove of garlic on the warm griddle, and that will be enough to roast it. It only takes about 5 seconds on each side. You don't want to burn the garlic because it will be bitter. So just roast it for about 5 seconds on each side. Toss the garlic into your blender. We're going to remove the root end from the onion. We're going to take the seeds out of the tomatoes. And if you need to, add just a little bit of water so it's easier to blend. Now we're not making a smoothie. You want to keep a little bit of texture in your salsa. So just give it a few pulses and that is all you need. We're going to take our puree back to the stove and we're gonna saute it in a little bit of vegetable oil, and that'll help reduce the water that we added plus any water that was in the vegetables, and we're gonna make the sauce nice and thick. Add a little salt. Like I said, you can do this a day ahead of time, so when you get up in the morning or whenever you're gonna make your Huevos Rancheros, you are ready. I'm gonna serve our Huevos Rancheros with some refried beans, and if you haven't seen my recipe on YouTube, make sure to check out that video. Super easy, very delicious, and a must-have if you're gonna enjoy true South Texas border flavor. I've got my trusty hand-forged skillet, which I love. It ends up being really non-stick. I just love this skillet. If you're looking for one, check out the comments below. I'll tell you where to find one. I'm gonna fry a couple of eggs, and I like crispy eggs, so I leave them in there a little bit longer so they get that really nice crispy edge. We're gonna serve our eggs with some refried beans, some corn tostadas, and let's top off those eggs with that beautiful salsa, super fresh, very mild, always delicious. Some sliced avocado, and I've got a little bit of cilantro on the side for garnish. And that's it for Huevos Rancheros. Easy enough. I highly recommend that you make the salsa a day ahead of time, and then that makes your morning breakfast routine so much easier. You know, it's always so fun to see you here at the ranch. I always love sharing my border recipes with you, and if you have a chance, hit that subscribe button because you know I'm waiting here at the ranch to serve up all of my favorites. You can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Pinterest, and of course here on YouTube. I'm Melissa Guerra, I am the Kitchen Wrangler, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here at the ranch again soon. Bye now.